power of we was a way of inclusion, a way of inviting anyone who needed or wanted a place to belong.
It was just very clear to me that this was something that would really benefit the young folks right here.
And to be able to give them a different perspective, that I know where they come from, I know what they're experiencing because I was there too, and letting them know that there's different actions that they can take that'll lead to a different destiny.
We really needed to hear that. In order to change our community, we needed to hear that.
And they are inspired to invest in making it happen. That's powerful.
Hello, my name is Dom Fawcett. I want you to join Lauren, myself, Todd, Jason, Danny, and so many other speakers at the Power of We Symposium, April 28th in Chicago. I've done it 1 year. This is my second year doing it. It is going to be a game changer. Again, my name is Dom Fawcett with Think React League out of Arizona. I look forward to seeing you in Chicago at the Power of We Symposium.
Good morning to you. Still got it. Not really, because I used to hold it for like 40 seconds. My mom was like, stop that. Stop it. It was my version of, because I got spanking once for holding my breath because I didn't get my way. So that was how I did it without getting a spanking, because I wasn't actually holding my breath. I was holding a note. So, and I remember my mom used to look at me like, okay, I know you tricked me in here somehow. You just wait. Right. So anyway, good morning. I don't know where it came from. Oh, the fond memories. Thanks for the memories. You know what? I really relish those that come out of nowhere. You know why? Because they ride parallel with senior moments. I'm like, I wonder why I thought about that, but I'm glad, because you know what? The older you get, the more you appreciate, wait for it, fond memories, right? I hope that when that day comes, when they say, hello, Lauren Michaels Harris, please pick up a heavenly white paging phone. Please pick, when you know, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I want to just be in a Burka lounger or on some beautiful Chase lounge or something, just watching all the fond memories from this journey. Wouldn't that be great? Can I get an amen? Oh, and that is what I'm hoping for. Listen, too funny. I'm thinking about Valentine's Day still. Because my husband and I, you ever watch American Horror Story? There was the episode last season where about Nixon, it was in black and white, and Mamie Eisenhower and all those and the aliens, and everybody watched that. Well, there was a scene where President Eisenhower, here's Mamie, okay, President Eisenhower, the guy who played it, slapped the dog Dookie out of her, right? And she fell out on the floor and she popped back up and she went, well, excuse me, Mr. Man, right? And Brian and I lost it. So what did he give me for Valentine's Day? One of my little gifts was, well, excuse me, Mr. Man. Oh, too funny. I mean it. If you can go back and watch it, girl, I'm just saying, too funny. Anyway, if you notice, I don't have the robe on. It's in my lap because I wanted to put it on after. This is all triple nickel. And I want to honor them today. Reach out. There they are. Hi. There's the triple nickel clan. Ruben and Chris and all of them over there. They are, I'm so grateful. They are the sponsors, and they're creating the very first official Power of We Symposium t-shirt. It's going to be on sale on their website, our website, powerofwesymposium.com, in person in the vendor section in the lower ballroom of the Stan Mansion, April 28th. Here's what the front looks like. Didn't know I was into sniffing armpits, did you? I'm just kidding. So there's the front. Isn't it beautiful? Yay! Look at us. That's the we around the O. That's us. People of all colors. And there's the back. Wait, is that the back? That looks like the back. Yeah, that's the front. Oh, yeah, because there's the scoop neckline. I know. Yeah, huh? If you can see yourself in one of those, I hope you can see yourself in person. April 28th is the date. April 28th. Where? Wait, I got to click over. Some people need to see it before they believe it. And so in case that is you, really quickly, because I want to get Annette Whittenberger Booger in here. Everybody already know. I've messed that name up so many times. Chicago, April 28th. Be there or be square at the beautiful Stan Mansion. If you want to know more about it, head over to powerofwesymposium.com. Tickets have been selling since October, and we can't wait to get you there with us at the Stan Mansion. Anything you want to donate to go in the swag bags. We have to fill 250 swag bags for these kids, right? We have them on the chairs waiting for them when they get there that morning. Clearly the bags are not identical. So if you get 5 of something, but we not just any old thing. Oh, I was going to stick that in the garage sale. I'll send it to Lauren. No, please. And there's reason I'm saying that, being that clear. Don't ask. Okay, so 1695 Smoky Court, Naperville, Illinois, 60563. If you have some books left over from a book you wrote that has a message in it, and I certainly hope it does, give it to us. Send it to us. If you want to make little bracelets or something, you want to send some aromatherapy, a scented candle, anything that can speak to a child when no one else can or does, when they feel like they're invisible or the world has them on mute. We want them to reach in and not pick out something like, what the hell is this? Well, guess I use it to go rob somebody. No. We want to give, if you're going to send a paperweight, be encouraged. Get it inscribed or something. You get the point, right? 1695 Smoky Court is the address. Please, please, please. We need you guys. That's why it's called the Power of We. Because I knew I couldn't do it alone. Do you know that? Come on now. Let's do this. Can I get a name, man? Right. So who's here today? You've seen her before. Man, what a talk about a transformation. Remember the Brady Bunch? Remember when Marsha transformed Molly? And then Molly turned on that ass. Remember? Molly was the cheerleader and she got rid of those glasses and stuff. So, Marcia. Right. Well, I'm just saying, Annette Whittenberger, Annette W. Where AW. She went from there to there. And not just in her spirit, her look. She took, I don't know what she did, but she looked like she had some work done because she's looking good. I'm just playing. But she is looking good. She has great hair, too. Don't hate on the hair. Just has come so far in such a short period of time. I had to get her back, you guys, to talk about how'd you do it? How'd you do it? And hopefully get some of that wild ride of life shipped into the Power Week Symposium, April 28th in Chicago. No more talking, no more yakking. Let's get her in here. Here she comes. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Oh, yeah, and it's called Life. Annette W. Hi, Annette. I'm trying to get my robe on now. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm dying over here.
You see, I instinctively sucked my gut in when I stood up. Yeah, automatically knew. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. I let it back out now because you can't see it. Good morning. How are you?
I'm so good.
You are. Tell everybody where you're at in the world and give them a little because I didn't even go into this. She got one humding. Look at it. That's her. I just gonna use it for notes. You give them the Reader's Digest bio if you could, and then we'll get started. There's a lot to talk about today. Thank you.
I am now relocated in Central Texas, Killeen, Texas, near Fort Hood. I just moved here from Virginia.
Yeah, I didn't know you moved.
I sure did, across the country.
Now I can tell that's a totally different look.
Yep.
Your other house, you went with a whole, got a whole different look.
Yep, that's all my VW stuff.
Wow. So why the move? You're not active duty anymore, are you?
I'm not. My husband got stationed in Missouri, and my son and I moved here to Texas so he can go to college and I could be closer to my daughter. And I'm a Texas resident anyway, and we own the house, so why not?
Oh, so you already had this house?
I did when we were first stationed here in 2003.
Oh, so it's like coming. So you know people and.
I know people. The area's grown, but we're back. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how's your family doing? How you guys navigating? Last time I saw you, I think it was on the forefront of COVID and whatnot.
Yeah.
How you doing now?
Yeah, no. So, everything's changed. It's, it just works its way out, or is that it? Yeah, it works its way out. And I just had to, I'm just here focusing on my son. That we had to make sure he went, in a certain path, and that's what I'm doing now. Just being a mom and doing the other million things that I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You seem so much happier. You're glowing. You have reversed your age. I don't know how, but we're going to find out today. But I want to just say this. Tell everybody, if you could, a little bit about your military experience. You did. You really when you retired, you were you had really done the thing, gone up there and high ranking, I would say, but still, and yet there were a lot of issues that you dealt with about, like a lot of women do, about being looked over, passed over, put on mute, turned into an invisible woman, all of that and more. So as you tell us about your experience in the military, go ahead and talk about that a little bit too, if you're okay with that.
Yes, absolutely. So I served for 17 years, 4 months. And so when people ask me, oh, so how come you didn't make it to 20? And it's taken a lot for me to say that I got passed over. I didn't make the promotion list to lieutenant colonel. I did retire as a major. So that is a huge accomplishment, of course, but I was so close, I was so close to the 20-year mark that I was devastated, and it broke me. It broke me because I spent my whole career trying to, be better and achieve the next rank and be alongside my peers and all that. And so that's when everything came out, and that volcano erupted and I completely lost myself.
So did it feel like flunking your junior year in high school?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have a friend, Aaron, he flunked kindergarten. We laughed about it today. He's a minister. And I was like, how how do you flunk kindergarten? All you do is sleep on a towel, drink chocolate milk every Friday, and color. You know, anyway, he did. But so you know what I'm saying. But as an older kid, it's a totally different experience. So what about that, Annette? What did it do when you say it broke you?
I felt like a failure, and a part of me blamed myself because I had made so many sacrifices, and I kept thinking, well, what if I wouldn't have done this? What if I would have done that?
Mhm.
And I didn't even go to my retirement ceremony. I was so mad at the world, at the army, at everything, that I completely isolated myself. And
You didn't go to your own retirement thing?
mm-mm.
So there were people there to like celebrate you, looking around and
Well, not just me. There was, whoever
Okay.
retired in the month of November, all of them plus me. Yeah, I didn't go.
I heard they had a picture of you with like a heart-shaped thing with full of roses as if it were a memorial.
Right?
Y'all, she done got, she's gone. The upper room, you know. But we'll talk about that though. So let me ask you, when you started your career way back at the beginning, did you set that 20-year goal like so many do? I want to be a lieutenant colonel.
No.
When did you set that goal? Where were you on the yellow brick road? How many years in?
I think at year 15, 16, I was like, all right, let's just finish this. Let's do it. And because I was going to get out in 2007, I put in my resignation papers and I'm like, I'm done. And there was a mix up with paperwork. I don't know what exactly happened, but they said, no, you're going to stay in.
Excuse me, you're not up for parole yet.
Right. So I said, well, shit. Okay. So I'll just stay. And then I just kept staying and staying. And so in my mind, I said, well, I'm so close. God help me. Let's get me to lieutenant colonel so I can retire. And it didn't happen. But go ahead.
No, I just want to say at this point, this is what I love about a wild ride called life. I love the name of the brand. I love what it stands for. You're the only one in the world I know that says it quite like you do. And what I love about it, and I hope more people understand, is the key to a wild ride called life for you out there, is this. Just like you were passed over and you were stuck inside that military box, there are people in the corporate world right now. There are people there's housewives and house husbands they feel the same way, that they're being passed over, and it doesn't necessarily always mean because of some rank or something you put on your epaulet. It could be, the mom or the dad who spends all their time investing into the family and no one even wants to sit around the dinner table after they've worked all day to make it. They're sitting there alone. Nobody has time. All kinds of different examples. Mm-hmm. Talk about what your goal, and well, tell them what a wild ride called life, where did the name come from, first off? How'd you get that? It's a winner.
Yes. I'm a big believer in God. And I when I was in my really dark place, I knew that I needed to do something or I wasn't going to make it, literally. And
what do you mean by that?
I'm a suicide attempt survivor.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. The 2, all the 2s and all that is a thing. But here's an intersection where we get to actually talk about it. So you were in the military, because people don't understand it. And it, you know what I'm saying? Talk about that piece if you're okay. Is that a scab we can pick today, Annette?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You don't got to go.
It's okay. No, I was really in a dark place, and I was done. I was done with the pain and that being a failure. And I was literally on the floor at 1:00 in the morning, and I called my friend. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And she had to remind me that you are successful no matter what you do. You have kids who need you, just all these things. And I finally, it's something just like overcame me. And I said, okay, you're right. I needed to live for more, and I started to write about it, and that's where the blog came from. But that name, I don't know where it came from. It was like sent from above, and I said that.
I got chills. Yes,
he did. It is for some reason that came out, and I said, okay, that's what we're doing, because it doesn't just apply to military, like you said, it applies to everybody. A wild ride called life. We all go through it. And so that's what I try to help people realize, is that no matter what you are, corporate, military,
Yeah.
house mom, whatever, we all go through these stages of life in this roller coaster, but there is another side to it. No, you're going to come out. And I needed to show that for myself, and I needed to show that to other people. So my self-healing journey included a whole family now, of people who suffer in silence.
Right. There it is. Suffer in silence. Now let's talk about that. Let's unpack that one. Because everybody, you don't have to be in the military. We've all suffered in silence. Because what do you think that is, Annette, that makes us so afraid to admit that we could feel that low? And the thing about it is, those things that are driving us down there, they want to make sure that whatever they're whispering encourages us to stay all alone, or to believe we're all alone. We can never let those thoughts get us all alone. Think about that one. So when you spoke to your friend, how soon after that were you able to speak to your immediate family, i.e. your husband, maybe a sibling or a parent? Why do you think it was easier to go to a friend instead of people right there in the house with you about something so serious?
Because I didn't want them to know. I didn't want them to carry any more of a burden, because I was already so isolated and in that dark place. I just tried to wear that mask. I wore so many masks. I wore that mask that I was going to be okay. So my kids were young, and I didn't want them to know. My husband was already he was having the stressors of his career, and I don't know.
Is he military too?
He is.
He is. Okay. So The Wall Between Two Lives, that's your book.
Yes.
At what point of the journey did that come out? It's like you have, it's like, we used to see fingernails were all one color. Now you see that people mix them up, they put things on them. It's kind of like that's how all your brand pieces came about. They each the nail needed to be painted, and you just reached for whatever you could find to paint it with. Talk about the book. How soon after your retirement did the book come along?
So I retired in 2016. I didn't start writing it until 2019.
Was it cathartic? What did the book do for you? Just getting it out, the story. And what do you mean by The Wall Between Two Lives? Talk about it.
Throughout my life and throughout my career, there was always this wall, because I was trying to be one person when I really was this person. But so I changed myself to fit in and to be stronger than I really thought I was. It's really strange, because right now I'm stronger than I thought I could be. But before, I was just trying to show this whole different persona to fit into the military in my life. And so I don't know, that same thing with the Wild Ride Called Life. The Wall Between Two Lives just came from nowhere, and I wrote it down and I stuck with it, and that's what it.
Oh, it came from somewhere. You best believe.
It did. It really did. And it was hard. It was hard because I had to speak to my family members that are in the book and tell them, this isn't a reflection of you. It's just, this was my life, and I needed to get out there for me to heal and to help others heal.
Were people in your world surprised? Let's say your circle of influence. Did they discover or read things inside your book that they had no idea of?
Yeah.
And how does it feel now? Do you understand why you were so afraid to be transparent, or what, or you were afraid people would judge you? What was it?
The judgment piece a little bit, but I didn't want my family to hurt. I wasn't trying to hurt them, because it, affected a lot of people. I wanted them to know that these little pieces of my life, why I am the way I am, but I'm better for it, because I've learned that God doesn't do things to me, he does it for me.
Mm.
And so that's how I've survived the past couple years, is because I've started to really think about those things, and that's how I live now. But back then, everything I thought was done to me, and why me, why me? So I just, that's why I wanted to do this, was to give people hope.
That's a strong word you use. Let's back up and look at it like the Hollywood sign, if we could, when you said survive the last couple of years. Now, I think a lot of people really resonated with that word the moment it came out of your mouth, simply because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
A lot of people understand the meaning of survive. Some of us have known for a long time, just called it something differently, or whatever. But when you say survive, because it came down to what? A choice almost every day, I would assume, of do I stay or do I go? Is it fast or is it slow? Right. So
Yes.
what do you attribute these breakthroughs, these things that helped get you to the woman we're looking at today? The book, the podcast, the blog. You just keep unpacking things, reinventing yourself. Where do you get that strength? Because I don't think you're done. I think you're just getting started.
You're right. I am. And honestly, I watch people like you, and I'm not just saying that just to say it, but I honestly do. I see people like you out there sharing your story and doing this because it's your passion and your mission. And so I keep going, because I get, a message from a stranger or a message from a friend that says, don't stop. And that's what helps me to continue to go on, because there are days, and it gets lonely to try to build a business or try to share your story. It gets lonely because it's hard, and not everybody agrees, or people think you're sharing too much, or that, there's negativity. So it's hard sometimes. It's hard sometimes to continue to keep going, and you want to just say, you know what, screw it, I'm done, because I've done that. But it's not about me, it's about everyone out there that has these invisible wounds that need a safe space to use their voice. And so that's what helps me to keep going. I know I do 50 different things because my brain's always on fire, but we want to make a global impact. We want to reach international waters, because you don't know what they're going through over there. They need us to keep going and making a difference. So that's why I keep going.
Oh, love it. And I've sat, like I said, front and center, and actually I bear witness to a lot of the incredible changes that have happened in your life in the last few years. It's just been something really, really genuinely wonderful to watch. The book, everyone, there you see in the middle of the screen, The Wall Between Two Lives. We're going to talk about that and a few other things when we come back in just a minute or so with Annette Whittenberger. So I want you guys to get your questions, get your comments, anything that you want to put out there. It's an illuminated conversation, and that means that we need you inside that conversation. Don't go away. Share the broadcast out. We'll be back in just about a minute.
What's up, guys? Todd Special here, and I'm excited to tell you that I'm going to be one of several extraordinary speakers at an event called The Power of We on April 28th. In Chicago, Illinois, at the Stan Mansion. This event is put on by a brilliant human who loves to touch the lives of every person he comes in contact with, executive producer Lauren Harris. This event is for the kids, so we're going to keep it clean, but we're going to keep it fun and very impactful. So if you're busy on April 28th, get unbusy. If you think this event isn't for you, you are wrong. Guys, join us April 28th at the Stan Mansion in Chicago, Illinois, for probably one of the most powerful events of the year, The Power of We.
Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Laura Michaels Harris. We are inside of it, y'all, getting it done with the wonderful and inspiring Annette Whittenberger. She'll be back in just a minute, but before she comes back, I want to, I was talking to actually my trainer at the health club this morning because I ran into her earlier last week in the grocery store, and her cart was filled with Diet Mountain Dew. And I was like, well. Isn't this a fine how do you do, right? So I saw her today, and I was bringing it up because she had a bunch of people she was training. I was like, you guys do know, right? So anyway, I suggested that she do what I did to drop the Diet Coke and the power drinks and whatnot. They weren't serving me. So I decided to find something that would. And this is what I came up with. V8. This is the baby version. Only 30 calories in one of these. A full serving of vegetables in one of these. Easy to find. They're sold in 8-packs. Head down the juice aisle at your local grocer. You'll be glad you did. Don't say, oh, I wish I would have had a V8. Just get one. Have it. Like Nike said. Just do it. All right. Here she comes. Welcome back, Annette. So before we left, we had, I'm going to show it up, throw it up on the screen again. So the book, were there any surprises as far as, did you get any pushback from people that may have, did you talk about family in here?
I do.
Did you use their real names?
I did.
So you were making sure. Listen, and cousin Sheila, yes, Sheila, that one. The one that drives the yellow Camaro or whatever. So what did they have to say afterwards? Did your book help any of them understand themselves any better?
Honestly, two of my brothers weren't able to read it yet. They're not ready, and it's okay. It's okay because it's hard. It's hard to hear about our upbringing, and but I did ask permission for everybody that's listed in there, so they know. I asked permission first if I could use their name.
How interesting that they're not ready. So how would they know they're not ready to read it when they don't know what you said? Did you give them hints? Well, what'd you say? Because we had a tell-all book in our family written by my niece, and but she changed, in that family my name was Larry. So in the book I think my name is Barry. Oh, I wonder who that is. Right. So anyway, so talk about that. Let's talk about that. Just because we have the book right here. When you were writing it, were you healing or did it come afterwards? Were you ever afraid that it was going to do more damage than good? How did you actually get to the point where you did whatever you needed to do because the book is here?
There's a part in there when I was molested at age 10. That was very difficult because in order for me to make sure I annotated everything correctly, I had to contact my hometown police department and get the records. So that was hard for me because I really went there. I really dug. Yeah. I got the records, I got the court documents, I got everything because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just because there's parts of it where I blacked out. I don't remember every single thing, but then I had to go and read it again. And it brought up really painful memories, but I had to do it for me because I wanted to make sure I wrote the right thing. I was 10. So
what about this? And that's difficult. Trust me. A lot of us know about that. And looking at the records and stuff, I don't even know if I could do that. But what about when you were? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Breathe through it. Amen. So, what about that? Because this happens. See, I haven't even written mine yet because of this very reason. The thing about protecting, I haven't been able to unpack that yet. How I'm going to deal with not tainting someone's memory. The people that were in the story, co-starring or starring in some cases, and they're no longer with us, but their children are, their spouse may be, whatever the case, their memory is still whatever people choose to remember. How do how did you deal with that? Well, she's not here to defend herself. That was really shitty, Annette.
And I thought about that so much. I tried to find, so at that time it was my best friend's father. I couldn't find her. I tried to locate her, and I tried to locate him just so that I could find her. And I couldn't. So I didn't use their names in the book because I couldn't find her, and I didn't want to do that to her. So if she ever, we were 10, so I don't think she'll ever remember me. But it was hard. It was very difficult because I couldn't find her. I wasn't sure what to do, but I went with it anyway. So that was hard.
When you got the hard copy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you read it again as a book?
No.
They tell me that that's a different experience than reading it off your computer or reading the printed manuscript. They say when you really hold it like a book, like this, that it's a different experience. You haven't done that yet, huh?
No, but I'll tell you this. So the book came out June 5th, 2020. I just did my audiobook. I narrated that myself. So I didn't read the hard copy until I did the audiobook 2 months ago. And that is when it hit me.
So something did happen.
It did. So not just until 3 months ago.
What happened? Tell us.
There was times where I had to stop reading. I couldn't. I had to break down. It was emotional. It was hard. It was important for me to narrate my book. So I after so many hours and sessions, I completed it. But it was definitely, that was hard.
I imagine that at certain triggering sections, it may have even felt like an out-of-body experience.
There was points in there where I was like, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I shared
Put that in there. Right. I was probably a little out of my mind when I wrote. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I'm looking at, Robert Brooker. Good point. Robert says being able to state your case is critical for everyone. And then Ross McCreary, again, absolutely right. He says, I say this all the time, but we undervalue the power of a story. And Annette's story is so powerful. I agree. Monifa Keynes says, I love you so much, Annette. Clearly you're friends. Ross McCreary, amen to that. And there's been some Facebook user out there talking about bring it, right? Okay. You got, here's something. Sherry McQueen says, good morning, Annette. Thank you for your sacrifice and your service. What is, Monifa says, hi, Lauren. Hi, Annette. Let me see how many more jobs Annette has now. That sounds like an inside joke to me. So Annette, I'm looking down. Let me see. I just felt something. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's time to talk about this safe space that you've created. I'm speaking of your podcast. Annette hosts a podcast, which is entitled The Truths We Hide. Now I love that title. You're good with your titles. You're like me. I love titles. I'm good with good names for things. Very good. The Truths We Hide. I'm going to highlight that because that takes a lot of effort. You got to go out of your way to hide the truth. You see what I'm saying? I know that. I know. You know what I mean? You got to go out of your. It's easy to hide a lie because they're designed for deception. They're designed for omission. They're designed for everything to not serve you. But to hide the truth, you got to put your, you can't just go like this. You got to put everything in there. You got to work extra hard overtime to make that happen. Talk about how you came up with the title of this podcast and what goes on inside their walls.
I'll say it again. God is good. The title, every single title I have, it came from I don't know where.
You just said where?
From God. From God.
Or whatever you ascribe to be greater than yourself.
Yes.
In other words, I didn't. Oh, wait. Let me grab it. There it is. That's why I have it. My intention pin. I do this to remind me Like when those things used to slip out of my mind, I don't know where it came from. No, through me, not from me.
Yes.
And that's all you guys say. It came through me.
It came.
I'm just the messenger delivering the message. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I
Go
love
ahead.
that. It came through me.
Yeah.
I knew, because I've lived my life hiding the truth because of the stigma, and I didn't want to be judged. So the podcast was intended to give a platform for people to be heard. And so this wasn't just about me, and it wasn't just for veterans. I actually had oh my gosh.
What?
I actually oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh. I actually had people reach out to me and ask me if they had to be military affiliated
In order to
be on the podcast. And I said no. They said I have a story to tell, and I just want to be able to share it. And I said, let's do it. And so it's not just veterans, it's not just military, it's anybody off the street that has been through some kind of trauma or obstacle, and they wanted to share it and show how they came out on the other side. And so that's exactly what we do. It's anybody and everybody that just wants to be heard.
Okay, so that's the podcast, not to be confused with this.
My name is Annette Whittenberger. I am the founder of A Wild Ride Call Life, and
The internet acted like it wanted to mess with us, but I rebuked it. Go away, go away. Yay! Okay, I love. Let's talk about the logo to A Wild Ride Called Life, because I love that logo with the VW van. I think I told you this. My very first vehicle was a VW van like that. It was a stick shift, and I was scared to death. I got stuck on a big hill once, and everybody was behind me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to roll backwards and kill us all. But it didn't happen. But anyway, let's talk about why so many things. When you pushed these things out of the kitchen, out of the starting gate, you pushed them out with your inner world kind of going like, every direction. You had a lot of personal issues going on, but you were still able to push through and push these beautiful brands out into the world. What do you attribute being able to do something for others when you really didn't feel like doing shit for yourself? How did you accomplish that?
I knew I had to keep going because it's not getting better. The stigma out there, the conversations, people are trying, but we still have work to do. And I have 2 kids. I have a 19-year-old son and a 21-year-old girl. And they have seen me at my lowest. And I want to make sure I leave a legacy. I want them to see that, yes, mom's been through hell and back, but now she's here and she wants to help others get through it. I need them to see that, because when I'm not here, they have to go through this, and I want them to learn how to deal with the ugly world or the ugly people. And so I see them and I just it's so important for me. I can't. It's not just about me anymore. It's for everyone else. And let me tell you, I've been a virtual speaker for a brand in Singapore, and when I hear stories about how people in Singapore are not allowed to speak about these things, that the role of women is completely different than here, how can we help them? That's when I know, oh my God, we have to keep going. There's other countries. There's other countries out there who aren't allowed to use their voice. So we have to be the ones to help them use that. So whatever I can do by creating 15 platforms, if one of those platforms work, then it was worth it. And so that's what I got. I have to keep doing it. I have to keep going.
I love it. And I also want to say that, what I love about it is, sometimes we have people that could be living right next door to us. And if they could, that's the thing about the mask. If you saw somebody's eyes going, you're at their front door and you're like, hi, Gene. And they're like, you're like, what? Who's there? If people could signal that something is wrong, if we had a signaling system, almost like a neighborhood watch. Remember, you used to see that in people's windows. You could run to that house, stranger danger. Right. If there was something set up even if it was just our inner circles of influence, the people closest to us, like you said, people right in your house, in your own home, had no idea that you were on the floor, maybe minutes before they saw you, ready to do whatever needed to be done to stop the pain. You guys, you saw just a little bit a second ago, and I'm going to run it again. I can't tell you. Well, yes, I can. Probably less than 10, more than 8. So I guess that makes it 9 times in my life that I've actually dialed this phone number that is scrolling across the screen. I'm not ashamed to say it because I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did because more times than not, clearly, it really helped. You guys, one of our themes here is to show me your soul, and I'll show you mine. And today we're with Annette Whittenberger, who is talking about how she has done a lot of the things she's done. But now let's talk about, as we get to the 10-minute before we leave, Mark, about how you're doing it now. What's around the corner? What's left? If you've already written the book, you got a podcast, you do all the stuff with the Wild Ride. You have a group too, don't you? A Facebook group. Don't you have a group?
I do, for those that are part of the mentorship program. We have, but I also have a business page. You have the Wild Ride.
Talk about that. What mentorship program? So
I created a mentorship program that is 16 weeks.
Achievement.
And that you created a beautiful video for, obviously. And we talk about life skills to help you live with your mental health issues, because we no longer need to suffer from it. We have it, we live with it. Let's figure out how to do that. And so that's what I teach, is how to just do the basics, how to continue to show up each day, how to continue to live. And so that's what we do.
And a Wild Ride called Life is on the screen. You guys get over and check it out. Interesting. But talk about this too, because when you were launching this, we were working on the video and all of that, which you just saw, you guys. And while you were actually launching it, you were being challenged. You were having to prove your own theories inside this. You said 16 weeks, right?
Yes, 16 weeks.
Right. Now, some of the stuff that you were talking about as an authority, you were actually, you were having, I remember daily, it was like you had to reach and throw a piece of that pasta of purpose against the wall just to make sure you knew it was going to stick. So we get put through things. So talk about that. Just because we know how to help other people and it's time to share what we know with other people, that does not negate the fact that we're still growing and evolving ourselves. And talk about that. How do you deal with, because I know that was a struggle for you in that at first. Like, I shouldn't be showing that I'm still don't know shit. I shouldn't be telling them that yesterday I felt like running away and just letting that Wild Ride van just keep going leave the family, dogs and everything behind. What would they think of me? What kind of wife, what kind of mother? Talk about that and how that's okay. People don't know that that's okay sometimes. How did you get to that understanding, Annette?
Well,
Like shit.
you kicked me in the ass a couple of times, and you reminded me.
I did.
You did. We had a conversation, a couple of conversations, and you had to remind me that you can do this. You are allowed to do this. You are allowed to be this. And so that's actually what I. That's actually.
That's a ham. They trying to get off screen. You might as well pick her up.
Come here. That's actually what I remind people, that it's okay to not be okay. That it's okay not to be okay.
There.
It's okay to step away. It's okay to come back when you're ready. And so as I was learning this process, I told them, look, this is how it is and this is life. And I think they appreciate that because you're being authentic.
Yeah.
And that's what people want. Don't pretend to be something you're not.
Just like that girl at it was one of those opens, tennis player. Remember? She withdrew and said, my mental health ain't right.
Yes.
And I think the girl that
the gymnast.
Yeah,
Simone Biles.
So people are finally getting to that spot where they're like, hold on, y'all. Hold on, world. Time out. I need some self-care. So self-care. I think, let's see, 8:53. We got 7 minutes. Self-care. Let's talk about that before we could. You guys, drop what you do. One thing I want to know. I'm serious because I am horrible with it. I'm horrible with self-care. I have to force it. I'm starting to bowl every Thursday night, and I go to bed at 8:30. I'm out till 10. Then I'm still catching up from last Thursday night. Excuse me. I'm serious. So self-care is very difficult for me, and I think for a lot of people. Let's talk about that. You got any tips inside a wild ride on self-care?
What I do, I love music. Is therapy to me. I always try to put music on. I put music on when I work, when I write. I use meditation at night when I go to sleep.
I do too.
I sing all the time in my house. Doesn't mean I'm a good singer, but I sing. Because we forget little things like that. We forget to dance. We forget to sing. We forget to turn on Netflix and just stop. Like, just stop working for a minute and go watch something to just change your mindset.
Change the air in the tank.
Yes. And people forget that because when you're an entrepreneur or whatever, you work in an office, it's 9 to 5, or entrepreneurs, that never ends. So you have to learn to step back and not rely on social media they're not going to, how do I put it? Stop worrying about numbers. Stop worrying about who's commenting. Just be there when you can, because that's what people are going to see. If you're trying too hard, it's going to overwhelm you. You're going to lose yourself. And so we have to stop that.
You know what I love? And you're absolutely right about losing yourself. That's why I'm so glad. I remember when the illumination happened, when the awakening happened for me personally, as far as how important you all are to me. That's why when I'm feeling some kind of way, I put it right out there, because when I believe for Bible believers, Christianity, when we hear the term, that saying, surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. I get it now. That means for me personally, that those people that I try to be there for every day, I got to understand that the two-way feed includes me understanding that they are there for me when I need someone too, which means I have to understand I can't always show up as this person for me. And so I need you all to remind me, hold on, Lauren, that's not reality. Here we are, like, and they help get me. It's like, take my face over here, Lauren. But I don't know, over here. But I know because I got ADHD inside and outside in my spirit. My spirit got ADHD, right? So I think that's wonderful, wonderful news, great content. Anything, tell us what's around the corner, known as the future for Annette. Anything on your bucket list this year that we need to know about or keep an eye out for?
My bucket list that I'm working on is I want to use music therapy. So I'm hopefully going to get into a program that will help me provide this for people, and also a children's book.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, music therapy. Perhaps I'll connect you with my friend, the Donovan. You guys remember he was here right before Christmas, did a big toy drive, and he's on that show, Queens, right now with Brandy and all those. Yeah, he's on that show. And he gives out free, he's a concert pianist. He's a classically trained pianist, and he gives away music lessons to elderly and to kids. So he might be somebody that, you know, can talk to you about something like that, because he mentions music therapy in his work. So there's that. Remind me to give you that. So listen, I am so excited for all that you're doing, all that you've done. And I just want to say hats off, for real, kudos. Bravo, bravo. What a great example you are of the whole thing. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly. You show it all. And that takes a lot of courage. And I just want to say, because I remember, you know, where I didn't know from day to day, I was like, ooh, she seems so fragile. That's how I used to think. I was afraid you'd just disappear. Yeah. Like one day that people were going to say, you know, Annette put dinner in the oven and then went outside for a breath of fresh air, like the guy who went out for milk and never came back. I really did used to wonder if that was possible, but no need to wonder that anymore. I thank you for the example. I use it in my own world. So I mean that, I really do. So I wonder, what's it going to take to get you to consider coming to the Power of We?
I'm going to look at airfare. I'm looking at that. You
do. And let me, you guys, Kessa Gooden, we have a Power of We travel agency, an official travel agency now that will work with you to get you the best hotels, best Airbnbs. A lot of people coming, get together on the page on Facebook, Power of We Symposium, and say, hey, let's get a great high rise or condo or house in the city or a brownstone or whatever. And they throw themselves together, have a great time, because a lot of people like to stay the whole weekend. You know, the event's on Thursday. We meet on Wednesday nights to get everything ready in the mansion for the kids. We would love to have you. I would love to see a Wild Ride have a vendor booth. I think the kids would love it. You have great swag, great gear. And if you can't make it, but I'm claiming that you will, perhaps you'll donate a few of your Wild Ride items to go in our swag bag for the kids. So whatever you want, we want it for you. And we would love to see you at the Power of We, Annette. I think the kids could get so much value from all you have. So, and the adults that come, everybody, and that includes you. I want to see you there, but I really want to see you here tomorrow, God willing. We'll be, let me see, who do we have? Let me pull it up. Tomorrow, retired commercial airline pilot, Guy Bilardo. Where is his book? Oh, I don't have it here. I'll have it here tomorrow. It's on my desk upstairs. But he's here back after a couple years. I want you guys to hear all the wonderful things happening with him. So that's tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Let me see. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Nope. I think that's it. Annette, anything you want to say, a Jerry Springer thought as we get out of here?
You know what, you're going to be okay. And I'm always here to reach out to if you ever need someone to vent to or cry to. I really am. I'm always here. So thank you.
Yay. I love it. And she means it. She means it. Listen, you guys, take a page from Annette's playbook. Keep going, keep getting up. Find that E and that R. Take the fact that you are already great to a new level and make yourself and everything around you greater. Take bright to brighter. Strong to stronger, bold to bolder. I'll see you tomorrow again, like I said, God willing, for our next episode of Bathrobe Moments. Have a great day. Thanks, Annette. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you.